General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday are looking like a full-blown emotional explosion, and I am not even pretending to be calm about it. Because honestly, this episode feels like one of those situations where every single character is one bad decision away from disaster, and I am sitting here like, how did we get here? And who exactly thought this was a good idea? Let me start with Jocelyn, because this whole setup already has me irritated and invested at the same time. She is clearly trying a brand new strategy, and that alone tells me she is done playing nice. She wants Nathan to confess everything, all of it. No more games, no more half-truths, no more pretending that this mess is going to clean itself up. And I get why she is pushing so hard. When you are trapped, cornered, and running out of options, sometimes the only move left is to force the truth into the open. But here is the part that has me tense. Nathan seems way too confident. He believes Jocelyn is not getting out of where she is being held, which means he may be speaking freely because he thinks he is safe. That kind of arrogance is exactly what makes soap opera villains dangerous. They talk too much when they feel untouchable. And let me tell you, that can come back to bite everybody involved. Jocelyn may get the answer she wants, but at what cost? Because I do not see her walking away from this clean. Not emotionally, not mentally, maybe not even strategically. And honestly, that makes me nervous for her. She might win the conversation and lose the war. And then we have Emma, who is suddenly at the center of the emotional storm on Tuesday. And wow, this one has real heartbreak written all over it. She has just gotten news from a medical examination, and the way this is framed makes me think the results are absolutely life-changing. The big possibility here is that Emma may be pregnant with Gio's baby. And I have to say, if that is where this is going, then this girl is about to have the floor ripped out from under her. Because how do you process news like that when you were not prepared for it? Not emotionally, not mentally, not even remotely. You do not. You just stand there in shock and try not to break apart in front of everybody. That is why Felicia stepping in matters so much. She is trying to steady Emma, calm her down, and basically hold the room together while Emma is spiraling. And I actually love that Felicia is doing that because somebody needs to be the emotional anchor in this mess. Gio is on his way, and I can already feel the tension building there. What does he know? What does he suspect? How is he going to react if this news is real? Because that conversation is not going to be soft. It is going to be huge. And maybe awkward, and maybe heartbreaking. And maybe all three at once, because this show enjoys emotional whiplash like it is a sport. Now let's talk about Anna, because this situation is getting darker by the second, and I am not okay with it. Anna is trying to escape the nightmare place where she has been trapped. And I need everyone to understand how serious that sounds. This is not just, let me leave a bad room. This is full-on captivity. And the sneaky part is that Anna may actually have to pretend she is paranoid, or at least pretend that she is not fully rational, just to survive long enough to make a move. Can you imagine that? Having to act unstable so the people watching you let their guard down? That is chilling. That is calculated. That is the kind of plan that only works if the people around you are already underestimating you. And Anna is not the kind of woman who stays down forever. She is smart, she is observant, and she knows how to survive when the walls close in. So yes, I am rooting for her escape, but I am also bracing for the chaos that will follow. Because if Anna gets out, the truth about what has been done to her is going to start unraveling fast. And Laura? Oh, Laura is already sensing that something is deeply off, and I love that because she is one of those characters who can feel trouble before anybody else names it. She may go to visit Anna at the psychiatric facility, but something is going to stop her from seeing her directly. That alone screams red flag. Why block Laura? Why not allow the visit? What are they hiding? Of course, Laura's going to suspect that Anna is in worse shape than anyone is admitting. That is the obvious conclusion. But the real twist, the one that makes this whole thing even more twisted, is that Anna may actually be perfectly fine and the guards are blocking Laura because they are terrified the truth will come out. I mean, that is just deliciously shady in the most infuriating way. The people in charge are not protecting Anna. They are protecting the secret. And that is exactly why this story has my attention on overdrive. Because Laura is not going to let this go. Not if she smells even a whisper of wrongdoing. Then Mac shows up again, and suddenly the whole rescue puzzle gets another piece. I have a feeling Mac is tied into the effort to help Anna, and that means things are about to get coordinated, fast, and probably messy. And Dante? He might secretly support Mac after hearing an offer from him. That is the kind of detail that makes me sit up straight, because secret support usually means secret risks. Dante does not strike me as the kind of guy who jumps into chaos without thinking, so if he is quietly helping, then the stakes must be serious. Maybe he sees the danger. Maybe he knows somebody has to move carefully behind the scenes. Either way, I am very curious about how much Dante is willing to do once Mac puts the right pressure on him. Now for the part that has all the rage energy in my system. Curtis and Isaiah, because Curtis apparently cannot control his anger, and this situation could go from tense to explosive in a split second. Isaiah may end up in the ER after Curtis lashes out, and wow, that is not a small thing. Curtis is already upset because Isaiah is near Portia, and he is even more furious that Portia seems to defend him. That combination is a powder keg. Jealousy, suspicion, protectiveness, resentment, all of it mixed together. That is how people make terrible decisions. And if Curtis really attacks Isaiah, then he may not just be dealing with guilt later. He may also be dealing with legal consequences. That is the kind of fallout that changes relationships permanently. This is the part where I go from understandable anger to nobody, you cross the line. Because once violence enters the conversation, everybody pays for it. And Portia is going to be caught right in the middle of that wreckage. Ava, meanwhile, is doing what Ava does best, sniffing out the lie before anyone else admits it exists. She is suspicious of Nina, and honestly, she should be. Nina suddenly acting concerned is exactly the kind of thing Ava would notice and immediately side-eye. That sudden shift feels unnatural, and Ava knows it. She is not buying the performance, not for a second. And then there is the question of whether Anna knows about Nina's crime connected to the syringe and Brennan. That is a huge thread hanging in the air, because if Anna does know, then Nina may be sitting on a ticking bomb. I love a good secret, but this one feels especially dangerous because it is the kind of truth that can destroy reputations, alliances, and friendships in one brutal reveal. And as if that were not enough, Ava is also staring down another wave of revenge because Molly may find out that Ava once held Rick captive. Now that is the kind of twist that makes every room feel smaller, because Molly is not going to shrug that off. No way. If she learns Ava was involved in keeping her father prisoner, that changes the entire emotional foundation between them. Suddenly, every past interaction gets reread through a much darker lens. And I am sorry, but I do not blame Molly one bit if she comes in swinging with fury. That is personal. That is family. That is the kind of thing people remember forever. And then Sonny. Sonny is making a new move, and I think it may be tied directly to Jocelyn's disappearance. He has a way of finding things out, and when Sonny decides to go looking, people tend to get found. That man does not sit still when family is in danger. He may have his own methods, his own network, his own I know what I am doing energy, but it usually gets results. So if he has realized Jocelyn is missing, then I expect him to start pulling strings fast. And I honestly love that because it means the pressure is shifting. Nathan may think he is holding all the cards, but Sonny entering the game changes everything. Everything. So, yeah, Tuesday looks absolutely insane. Jocelyn is pushing for confessions. Emma is facing news that could blow up her entire life. Anna is trying to escape captivity. Laura is being shut out. Mac and Dante may be working a quiet rescue angle. Curtis is one bad impulse away from legal trouble. Ava is circling the truth. And Sonny is moving like a man who already knows the clock is running. Tell me I am not the only one who feels like this episode is about to detonate.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.